The Dallas Stars with some luck and fortune and a fantastic performance from Jake Oettinger shut out the Caps by a final score of 1-0, and the Dallas Stars are streaking.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Jake Oettinger remains perfect against the Washington Capitals in his career. He improves to 6-0 and picks up his second shutout against the Caps, his 13th career goose egg, and the Stars have now rattled off 3 in a row. This was not pretty by any stretch, but that's how the Stars have to win hockey games in their current makeup. We've talked about that, but that may not even be the most important news of the day. The Dallas Stars extended Thomas Harley. That was just a little blurb in the afternoon. Yes, Thomas Harley has been extended. We'll talk about my reaction and how this sets up the Stars for the future. We'll play some Galaxy grades as well to finish out today's show. So buckle up. It's a jam-packed show, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. Yes, Jake Oettinger stops all 24 shots he faces in the contest, and this game went a little backwards from my expectations. I thought Dallas was going to get off to a pretty slow start, and they were going to need Jake Oettinger really early in this game until they found their legs. They were not dealing with as many injuries as we thought. Of course, Oscar Beck was not able to play. He is listed as day-to-day, along with Duchesne, Hintz as well. Harley, who did not participate in morning skate, was good to go, which was a great sign. The Stars went 11-7 tonight, with Kyle Capobianco checking in for his first game of the season. But I thought it was a really even first period from Dallas. The shots were pretty even, 9-8 in favor of the Stars. Dallas had their legs. They were moving well. They actually looked really connected, and I thought it was one of the more connected periods in the last few weeks. It was good to see, especially defensively. They were able to get out of their own zone rather easily. They were creating offense in the attack zone. They spent some long shifts. They were cycling well. They were just moving the puck more crisp, and they seemed really cohesive with one another. They were getting pucks to the net, and I think they did a great job of shutting down the middle of the rink against Washington. They boxed out a ton. They only allowed 24 shots. Oettinger faced some really high-quality chances, but it's not like we've seen as of late with the high danger quality. I don't think there was as much as we've seen at points this season. The Stars blocked 19 shots, and they did a great job of clearing out in front of Otter. That way he could see shots from the point. There was a couple deflections that he had to come up big with some saves. There was one on Ovechkin late, but all in all, a really solid game from him. Washington had some great look. They hit 3 posts in the game. I mean, they ripped posts. You could hear that all the way from Boston. You could hear it all the way from Washington, Maryland, with some of the pipes the Caps hit. It's not really a game that I would say Dallas deserved to win. If you go to the money puck meter, they have the Caps at 67.8% deserve to win o meter. But the Stars just did enough tonight. And my takeaway is this is how they have to win hockey games. They win the special teams battle. The PK was awesome. Penalty kill was freaking awesome. Big round of applause for Nazardine and the Stars getting that resurrected, at least for tonight. They go 3 for 3. That's hard to do against the Caps that, of course, deploy the grade 8. Carlson's really good. They have talent. And Dallas goes 3 for 3 and really did not give Washington much all night long. They could not get set up. I thought the Stars were a touch more aggressive tonight than we've maybe seen here early this season. They just seem more confident. And I think some of that stemmed from their 5-on-5 play. They just seemed to be moving a lot better. They skated well, and they attacked Washington when they fumbled pucks, weren't making clean passes. The Caps made some errors themselves, which certainly helped out, but they really pressured high up the ice. The Stars did, and made it tough for Washington to get in cleanly. They were great. That's a big night from them. And they go 1 for 4 on the power play. That's what you got to do right now. You have to win those chances, and it's a bounce off the defenseman's stick. It's not pretty by any means. Seguin just whips it, looking for Jason Robertson. If he gets through, he probably scores, but it goes off the defenseman's stick into the back of the net. That's the third goal like that over the last 3 games, and you'll take it. Seguin picks up his third of the season. Heiskanen, Rantanen pick up the helpers. And Dallas gets out of there with 2 points. Some of the penalties in the game were just soft on both sides. There were some head scratchers, but Dallas capitalized. They were really good the first, I would say, 25 minutes of the contest. The final 10 to 12 minutes of the second period was just hold on for dear life. And Dallas really struggled to get out of their own zone. Their exits were just not good enough. And this is not a recipe for success moving forward. But Washington really upped their pressure. They pinched in hard. I thought they gave Dallas a lot of fits. And the Stars had to resort to just high flips, defending for long stretches of time. There was one segment towards the end of that second period where I think it was Bischel, Ritzkovian's line was out there. I can't remember the other defender, but they were out there for maybe 2 minutes. It was close, about a minute and a half, and Washington was swarming, and Otter just came up with big saves. He was great. He ends up being the first star, obviously, on the night. The Caps had an expected goals for of 2.77. For all the gripes that maybe I've had, or maybe the criticisms for the Stars game, 3.78 goals expected. That's not bad. A large chunk of it was on the power play they had. They didn't score on that one. It would have been nice to get the nail in the coffin there. They ended up with a power play 6 minutes into the frame. They weren't able to capitalize. Then Bischel took a penalty for interference, which I didn't love. I just thought they were battling in front, like it's 2 big guys battling, and they decided to call interference, and the Stars buckled up, and they got a huge kill. Really did not give Washington much. And the Stars, I just thought, played a pretty grimy, gritty game at home. I think it's sort of that road hockey term that Goldson was looking for, and that was just sweet stuff from the Stars, and love to see it. Winning the special teams battle, phenomenal goaltending, and 6-on-5 they were really good too. They really did not give Washington a whole lot. There's a lot of guys that deserve credit. Miro was out late. He was spectacular, really good in the game. Lindell, Sam Steele had an awesome game. Sam Steele deserves some snaps tonight. He was buzzing off the hop. Thought he had some juice, was making things happen. The fourth line with Faksa, Ernie, Bastian gave Dallas some good shifts when they needed it. I just real impressed with Dallas. It was kind of a boring game in a lot of ways. I mean, sort of how you would expect maybe a 1-0 game. And if you give Otter 24 shots a night, you block 19, you're in pretty good shape. I think the Stars will be in a fine shape if they keep that up. They need to create more, of course, but they just gotten these lulls in the game. There was lulls, which I've said, right, it's just going to happen. They're not going to be able to just keep up constantly and keep teams hemmed in or tilt the ice. But they defended hard. They defended really hard, and they get the job done. So I'm rather impressed in a 1-0 shutout. We haven't seen a game like that in quite some time. And that's a good offense. They came in with, the most amount of goals scored here. I think 21 goals for, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was goals against. But either way, that's a really, really damn good win. And it may not even be the biggest news tonight. As I said, Thomas Harley extends with the Stars. How about that? Thomas Harley. An extension is done. Here's my reaction and more in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is your place to get NHL tickets. Hockey season is officially here, and sometimes getting tickets can be such a headache. Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump right before checkout, it's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. We love Game Time because it allows you to view your seat before you buy it. You know exactly what to expect when you get to the arena, a ballpark, you name it. You can have great seats in minutes. It's easy. You tap, you pick your seats, and boom. You can have zone deals, which is a game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, you save big. You can find NHL tickets for under $25. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, and go. Hey, Stars fans, I do want to give you a heads up about this really, really cool opportunity. I feel like I'm influencer status a bit, but I was sent a PR box for the first time in my life by PNC Bank, and it's really, really cool stuff. I'm going to show you some of the really, really badass things they're sending me, but they're doing like a little pop-up shop. It's a pregame pop-up shop in PNC Plaza. It's a main street branch on November 4th and November 6th. It's just outside the American Airlines Center. And they're giving away these hats right here, which are going to be available, 20,000 limited edition hats. And yeah, they're supporting the hockey flow. Get a load of these things right here. Look at the flow in the background. Yeah. Now, that is some Yager-esque flow from back in the day, but they're giving away these hats available to first come, first serve basis, 20,000. Hey, big shout out to PNC Bank for sending these my way. Thought it was really cool. Again, November 4th, November 6th, it's available. Sort of like a classic barber shop feel. So yeah, shout out to PNC Bank. I thought that was rather cool and nice of them. I got some cool things like the hat. I got a comb. I got a hockey puck with the PNC logo. So yeah, that's going to be happening. So I just want to share that. Like I said, I feel like I'm influencer status now. I'm going to take this off. I might have to wear this for a full episode. Maybe after big games or something. Maybe this will be the game hat that we give out or whatnot. But I did want to share that with them. And again, thank you to PNC Bank for sending me that. That was rather nice and cool of them. A bit shocked, but I'll take it. Anyways, let's get back to the business. Thomas Harley has been extended. Ladies and gentlemen, he may have some flow like that with the amount of cash influx he's getting. But an 8-year deal worth $10.5875. So just shy of $10.6 million for Thomas Harley. And it gave me deja vu because last year the Stars extended Otter in Washington when they played the Caps. So this happened in the afternoon on a Tuesday, and they extend Thomas Harley. And my initial gut is, well, this is awesome. And it feels like a really, really good deal for the Stars and Harley. I think it's a great deal for both parties involved. Shocker, Jim Nill does it again. Look, they're still going to have some cap issues potentially, and there may still be some difficulties trying to get Robertson as well. But Thomas Harley is a top 20 defenseman, and you're going to be paying Miro Heiskanen, which this is the mind-boggling thing out of it. I mean, Miro Heiskanen is the steal of the century at $8.45 million. And I know it's weird. He's your second best D-man, and you're paying him that much. You're paying him more than Miro. And some would even argue, some would argue that Harley has been better than Miro at points, or maybe is. I think there may be people out there that think that. So even if whether he's a 1-2, it's a really solid deal. And it's hard for me to wrap my arm around it. We talked about this. The cap can be so confusing sometimes. It's like, okay, now we're paying him more than Miro, but the cap is expected to increase. I know they say that all the time, but that's what's to be expected. And him and Miro for what? What is that combined number between the two? And it's a front-loaded contract. There is some intricacies to the deal as well. So if you did 8.45 plus 10.5, whatever it is, 5.87. So, that's two top 15 defensemen, if not 10, that you're getting for under 20 million together. Now think back of what Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn were making at points in their career. What they're around 18 million, something like that. And a lot of people had issues with that. And I get it relative to the production they had and relative to how the team was successful. So I think you have to be really happy with what you're going to get value-wise out of both of these guys at that number. It's really similar to Evan Bouchard, which I think is a pretty solid comparison for Harley. It's sort of that Evan Bouchard type. Bouchard is considered number one in Edmonton. So I think it's a really, really solid deal. Now, how it affects Robo, who knows, right? Stars may have to make some decisions, right? They could get out of Lyubushkin if they move off him next year. Lyubushkin is 3.25. Remember that deal for one more year? So, they got rid of Dumba. They offloaded him in the offseason. Maybe they're able to do that. I know there was some thoughts, maybe reports about that trying to be done this year with Lyubushkin over the summer. So that is a place they can find some extra wiggle room. But I think this is going to be, I think it's like a slam dunk. It feels like if we continue to see him progress, and I know he hasn't been just incredible here to start the year, but I think you get it done. Like this just for me takes all the weight. The weight is lifted off. You don't worry about it. You have two of the best defensemen in the world going to be locked up together till 2030, 2029, when Miro's deal ends. You have another piece of your long core locked up, and you keep a really, really productive player for you on all accounts. Power play, 5-on-5, PK. He's great. He's really good, and I don't think there's much to say, just because this is the way it is, right? And I think he could have easily gotten more if maybe he waited or another team was interested. I think someone else would have paid him more. I think this says that he wants to stay in Dallas. He understands he can win, and I think Emily Kaplan, who was on this from the start, mentioned that a bit. I want to read off one of the tweets she sent out. I believe it was from her earlier today. Got to find it. She's got a lot of stuff. But I think she mentioned something about how Harley believes he can stay here and win. He believes he can win. And that's what kind of this deal signifies for him. So I just think a really, really solid deal done for Dallas. And now you don't have to worry about it. I'm trying to think. Here it is. It says, so Kaplan said this buys 3 RFA years. I believe there's a full no movement clause when he gets past years 1 through 3. Big picture. And it says Harley believes he can win in Dallas. He wanted to stay. And that's just how it goes. That's how it goes. Who knows? Who knows? Like it could age a little bit differently. Like we think we know who Harley is. Maybe 2, 3, 4 years from now, maybe we'll know more. I don't want to be too quick to judge positive or negative, but this just feels like good. I think it's good to lock up your second best defenseman and not have to worry about it. And I've been on the record of saying I think I would re-sign Harley over Robertson just because his position is so premium, and Dallas has lacked stability at times, depth-wise maybe, but they've had really good high-end talent. So this is just, I think, a good piece of business done, an important one for the Stars. So that's big, and excited about that. So go Jim Nill. I've said it a couple times, right? If it's anybody that can get it done, it's going to be him. Let's hand out some Galaxy grades. We got a black hole. We have a shooting star and a supernova, which is probably pretty obvious. But get your answers in. I'll share mine in just Galaxy grades, you know it, I know it. We all love it. A 3 stars version, but we hand out a black hole for something that was just not good, or anything we just didn't like from the hockey contest. I will give a black hole just to the Capitals offense. It was a black hole tonight because of Jake Oettinger. Stars were excellent. They defended, I thought, really well tonight. I thought in the grand scheme of things, were really strong in front of Otter. They gave up some looks, which is going to happen. But the offense for Washington, the power play was a black hole. How about that? Let's just make it the power play for Washington was a black hole. They couldn't get nada going on a man advantage. That was great to see from the Stars PK. Now, for a shooting star, I'm going to give it to Sam Steele. I know he took a couple penalties in the game, but I think his penalties were just from working hard. I'll take those. Steele, I thought, had juice. Played just a really hungry game. I'm curious what he graded out as. He graded out as the 5th highest out star. That's not bad. Above Mikko. I enjoyed his game. Played 19 minutes in the contest. Man, he was all over the place tonight. Did he really? He did. 1933. Hey, good for Steele. That was good. He gets a shooting star. I know he doesn't pick up a point in the game, but Steele is a well-deserved recipient of the shooting star tonight. And we'll kick things off or leave you with the supernova, who, of course, goes to Jake the Otter Oettinger, the monster Otter, with his shutout, first of the year, 13th of his career, second against the Capitals. He improves to 6-0 all-time against Washington. 24 saves, expected goals against of 2.77. He was sharp, rebound control, excellent, made some tough stops, some point-blank chances on some good shooters, and that is back-to-back wins for him as the Stars improve to 3 straight victories, and maybe that's will spark the Stars moving forward. They get a team here in a couple of nights in Tampa Bay, which has struggled, and then they got Florida. So a little Florida swing here over the weekend, and we'll see how Dallas fares. But that is a Frozen Frenzy. How'd you enjoy the NHL's Frozen Friendly? I'll be honest, I really didn't watch much of any other game. I did watch the which game was it? The Penguins Flyers game. I watched good chunks of that just because it was before the Stars game. And every time the Stars play the late or whatever, if they play a second game of a national TV, it always goes to overtime or shootout. That happened on, what was it, Monday? Whoever they played, or Sunday, I can't remember, whatever. My days are lost, but y'all know what I'm saying. It always goes to overtime. That was the case again. And I knew there was a late game after the Stars tonight, and I figured the Caps were going to find a way to tie it up and go to overtime. But that was not the case. That was not in the cards. But Frozen Friendly's fun. It's fun. Good stuff. I didn't watch it a ton. At this point, I was trying to focus on Dallas. Where do the Stars sit right now? First wild card with the victory. 6-3 and 1 for our Stars. But yeah, big time stuff from Dallas. So heck yeah. A dub, 2 points. Oh man, last week at this point, we were like, oh my gosh, Stars look awful. And they've looked a lot better. They've looked a lot better recently. So credit to Goldson, credit to the boys for picking it up. And a bit of a snoozy one, but a good snooze fest. We can take that. 1-0 shutout. That's going to do it for today's show. As always, thank you for the love and support. Please drop your Galaxy grades in the comments. Love to read those. Let me know how you're feeling about the Harley extension. Yeah, let's flood that as well. Let me hear how you feel about the Stars and Harley agreeing to an extension this afternoon. All righty, Stars fans, have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow, I'm thinking, maybe not even thinking, I'm probably going to do something about this lawsuit with the Mavs and Stars. I kind of want to dive into that. I'm really intrigued about. I should probably try to get a guest on, maybe if not, because it's really fascinating. And the Stars maybe think about to Plano, which is crazy. I don't know, but yeah, we got to touch on that. I didn't even do it when the initial reports came out. So now that there's more stuff, I feel like we got to talk about that a bit. So I think we'll do that. So, yeah. All righty. Anyways, have a great day, Stars fans, and we'll see you on the next episode. So long.